Hi there, and welcome back to another episode about the deities in the solar system. And with Jupiter, his reputation does precede him. But the story I'm going to tell you today is so wild and potentially so obvious, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it. So, prepare yourself for the most epic, the most jaw-dropping, Scooby-Doo worthy reveal, because now, if you've been watching this series for a while, you would have picked up that the physical traits of the planet reflect upon the characteristics of the deity. And with the planet Jupiter, well, it's really big. It's the biggest planet in the solar system. And its most identifying features are its iconic colouring, those red and white stripes, and also this thing which is called the Big Red Spot. The Big Red Spot is a storm which has been raging for as long as we've been pointing our telescopes at the planet. Jupiter is a storm god. In Rome, Jupiter was a sky god and king of the gods, and also a god of justice, so he's possibly most famous for hurling thunderbolts at wrongdoers. Jupiter was married to Juno, queen of the gods, goddess of marriage, and the other thing that Jupiter is most infamous for is infuriating his wife because he really liked the ladies. One of the more fun aspects of making this documentary is I've had to go and look at all these old paintings, because when you're making a documentary you want to mix it up a little bit with a bit of B-roll, because apparently talking heads is boring, and where else was I going to get pictures of the gods? Famous paintings. But the strange thing about finding paintings of Jupiter is they weren't really of Jupiter, because it's not just Jupiter who likes the ladies. This is Jupiter seducing Io, and Jupiter is a dark cloud. In this one, Jupiter is seducing Callisto, and Jupiter has taken the form of the goddess Diana. And I particularly like this one. This is Jupiter seducing the Princess Danae as a shower of gold. And quite a few other artists like this one as well, so we get a few versions of it. And it's interesting to note that none of these beautiful women are depicted as stick figures. So sure, I'm digressing, but sometimes it's fun just to wander down a rabbit hole and see where it leads. And yeah, Jupiter. So he wasn't shown in the most favourable light, but none of the classical gods were, and this may have been to remind us that we're all flawed, that nothing in this world is perfect. And another reason may have been as a storytelling technique, because perfect characters don't make drama, so there is no story. We want complex characters to keep us enthralled. And these myths have kept us enthralled for hundreds and hundreds of years, which is why we still have them, as people keep telling their stories. So they were very effective at doing what it was that they needed to do, which I think's great. And while Jupiter wasn't shown in the most favourable light in classical mythology, in astrology he is very popular. He's called the Great Benefic, which means very beneficial, because he is the lucky god of expansion. Everything he touches grows, which is great when we're talking about our bank balance. He's jolly, he's jovial, he's positive. He wants us to live life to the fullest, to supersize, maybe gamble a little bit. And that confidence to jump onto those opportunities is often what leads us to make money. He is very much about making money. He's also a CEO, he's a boss, he's a leader. He's about big picture thinking and also about philosophy. Going to great lengths to make plans happen, to make higher learning happen. Long distance travel, maybe a booze cruise. And he also has a soft spot for pets. In Santería, his name is Shango, and Shango is the king of the Orisha. He rules dancing, music, drumming, thunder, which is music of the skies, fire and virility. His symbols are a double-headed axe, like a Thor's hammer, and also a ram's horn. Not a ram, a ram's horn. His number is 4 and his colours are red and white. The red, that's about the base chakra stuff, and the white, that's the crown chakra. Apparently the crown chakra, sure it's violet, but when it's fully activated it glows white. So yeah, Shango, he's a little bit of security and a little bit of spirituality. And he enjoys the finer things of life. He likes to have a good meal, party, dance, flirt. He can be very charismatic, and there's quite a few stories about him causing trouble for everyone until he grows up and learns the kingly arts of grace and diplomacy. And he's got 3 wives. The first wife is Oba, she's the Orisha of marriage. The second wife is Oshun, she's the Orisha of love, and the third wife is Oya, the Orisha of lightning. In the tarot, his card is the Emperor, which is all about authority, structure and leadership. And he's portrayed as a king sitting on a throne made out of rock because he's very much in control of what's going on in this 4th dimensional reality. As you're aware, we live in a material world where cash is king, and corporations continue to expect exponential growth on a planet with finite resources. And you might not be particularly materialistic, but you may still have felt an urge to pay homage to this deity. What am I talking about? Are you ready for it? Drum roll, please!
I mustn't wake anyone.
Father Christmas! Well, it could just be a coincidence. Or maybe Coca-Cola knows something we don't know. Or maybe we're celebrating pagan holidays with a Christian gloss. Or maybe it's an indicator of a collective unconscious. I don't know, but it's definitely food for thought. Alright, people who personify this archetype, they could be big in one way or another. And they could have jobs or hobbies relating to this archetype, such as making money, having jobs which make money, like being a CEO or being a boss. He could be a tradie, all of those man jobs, because in Santería he's called Shango Macho, so all of that man stuff goes along with him. So being a builder, a plumber, a mechanic, that kind of thing, because kind of doesn't like taking orders from other people. He likes to be acknowledged as being a boss, so owning his own business really suits him. And he could be involved in jobs which provide people with the finer things in life, such as being a chef, a drug dealer, a brothel owner, making music, being the leader of a band or being a drummer. And he might have more than one wife. So traditionally he pairs up with the Earth archetype, and he might have a solid relationship with her for forever. Or he could pair up with the Venus archetype, and he could also pair up with the Minerva archetype. Sometimes he gets married and divorced 2 or 3 times. And if there's anything that you take away from this video, if this is about you, I'd just like to remind people that it's not your fault. It's not because you've been making bad decisions. It's just a growth pattern. You'll see it happening to so many other people, and there's always more love. Okay? You'll find the next one. If you found this video particularly interesting or entertaining, you might want to check out the Saturn video, because Saturn takes the cake. Alright, see you next time. Ciao!
Come on, everybody!